Hey there folks, Quentin here, Masquerman on the internet with another comics book review. This time I have part 2 of Spawn Wildcats, part 2 of 4. And this issue sort of has the same, feels like a very rushed artwork. Nothing that really jumps out. It's fairly decent though, but it still has this sort of newsprint paper stock. In this issue, they meet up. There are, in the future of 2015, from 1996, I believe. They started out in 1996, so they are in the future of 2015. And here, the sort of big things happen in this book is that they meet these sort of enforcers, Vindicator, and Vaporizer, who sort of look like the Violator. These two guys, you know, they sort of fight, and it's this sort of, I don't know, they killed the sort of other the 2008 versions of the Wildcats, but they couldn't do it to the 1996 characters for some reason. And it's like the only real sort of big fight is like Maul sort of does his thing, goes tall, big, and smashes the guy, and that's, I don't know, it's just a weird kind of future thing, because Grifter's over there shooting him with his bullets, so it's like, it doesn't really make too much sense, which is kind of weird coming from Alan Moore. And then, Zealot here, the future Zealot is now called Tapestry, and she's like old, and it's like, Zealot's this alien being that's like hundreds of years old. How is she like old now? Like, just to show the passage of time. And it's like, I don't know. It's a weird story. It's almost like Alan Moore didn't really know the characters. It's a real departure from, like, at least from what I know, early Wildcats, Jim Lee Wildcats. And, this sort of Troika now is this sort of amalgamation of all three characters. But, like, in this, they still look separate. It's not really, like, what kind of design is this? It's just, it looks like they're still, that they're not combined. But in the story-wise, they are combined somehow. But it doesn't show in the artwork. And, it's just all around kind of not what to expect from a Spawn Wildcats crossover from these two sort of founding books of Image. And there's this sort of buildup of like Spawn is now what is his name, Epsissimus. He's like the demon god, and now he's take over the Chrysler building, and it's the sort of seat of power in this sort of future. And they build up this, like, the Chrysler building, and it's like, oh great god, that used to be the Chrysler building. And then look at this, it's just the Chrysler building with the Spawn symbol on it. So it's like, meh. So all this book is them getting from the Halo building, right, where the Wildcats are based, to the Chrysler building. They fight, the two sort of demons. They go to, and then they're like in the basement of the Halo building, and then they walk over to the Chrysler building, and that's basically the book. So it's like, what happened? Not a whole lot. It's, I don't know. It sort of introduces you to characters that you should know, like the Black Razors, I think they're called, like the sort of government, the Razors are like, in the Wildcats or Wildstorm universe, they're like sort of the special ops guys, and now they're this ragtag bunch with like no armor, and they look like ninjas now or whatever. It's just slightly ridiculous, but I still give it a 5 out of 10, because it's very mid. It's disappointing. It's disappointing. to see these two sort of like giant, you know, Todd McFarlane Spawn and Jim Lee's Wildcats to come together in this sort of put together world or put together book. And it's like, I feel like it would have been better served if they went the sort of more like military government way, where, cause Spawn is a military guy and like the Wildcats are like, you know, the military is ingrained in their story, where like special ops, like, you know, Grifter is like this ex-military guy. And it's like, it's only obvious that this is what should have been, you know, figuring out something, but it's this future, whatever. And that's my review. And it's pretty cool seeing all these old ads from the 90s. Jim Lee's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, poorly designed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Even back then, I was like, that's not a thing. And, you know, it's funny, like a lot of seeing these advertisements, you know, like I used to play this card game. Wildstorm card game was pretty cool. I remember playing it in high school, and I loved playing it. It was cool to collect the cards and do all this thing. So, you know, like 5 out of 10. I might just read issues 3 and 4 together and just do a review together instead of individual. But that's my review for Spawn Wildcats issue number 2. Until then, God bless.